Playing Melee on a CRT feels like heaven to me. For the majority of us who grew up playing the Smash games on a CRT, it is our preferred way of playing Melee. A CRT has an almost comforting nature to it for myself, and the glow and hum just make me feel at home. That glow and hum was missing from my Slippi experience, so I thought I would run a little experiment and see if a CRT monitor or a CRT TV can give me a more accurate experience to what it's like to actually play Melee on console. On the left, we've got a pretty standard 120Hz CRT monitor. I'm sure you could find this pretty much anywhere, maybe your grandpa's basement. On the right, we've got a CRT television that you'd typically find at a Smash Bros venue. It's pretty light, easy to carry, and it doesn't look terrible. So we've got an HDMI to AV. These are known for having input lag. Then we have a straight up VGA direct connection that will be connecting directly to an older VGA laptop. On the monitor, you're going to want to make sure that 120Hz is actually enabled, and on these older monitors, you might have to make a custom resolution within your graphics software. Before we take a look at both of the monitors at the same time, I would like to address both individually. So the first thing I noticed is that the game looks fantastic on a PC CRT. The next thing I noticed is that the input lag feels just as non-existent as on Slippi on a high-end 144 or 165Hz monitor, which is what I have. Due to there not being a big enough difference, I can't really recommend you getting a high refresh rate CRT monitor unless you really want that CRT monitor feel. There is a situation I could recommend getting a high refresh rate CRT monitor though. There are still situations where you can find them for pretty cheap, 40-20 bucks, sometimes free on the side of the road. So if you can't afford a monitor with refresh rates that are high, then this is a pretty decent option. You could also use this in other competitive games like Valorant, CSGO, so it's not a terrible investment if you're looking for a budget monitor. So if you are just looking for the CRT vibe, you're going to need to get an adapter. You're going to need to be careful when buying this adapter though. You're going to want to go onto the CRT subreddit, see what they're up to, see what they know. After doing some research, I found that apparently VGA adapters from HDMI to VGA that do scaling introduce input lag. Some just destroy the colors. And then the ones that support the actual high frame rates are significantly more expensive. The ones I found were like $60, and also they have problems with manufacturing where they change chips and then they suddenly don't support high refresh rates, so it's a whole nightmare. That's why I personally went with the option of just using an older laptop or GPU that actually supports VGA natively. This feels significantly more hassle-free, so if you have an older gaming rig laying around, you can try it out, have fun. There's one other reason I would personally recommend that you use a CRT monitor for playing games on a modern computer. And that would be if you have a Trinitron CRT monitor. I have a Trinitron upstairs and it's 165Hz, it's got better colors than my IPS, and it's just awesome. Plus, if you're really just looking for the lowest amount of input lag, just get a 360Hz monitor. So now we're testing using the standard home CRT television. Here we are using an HDMI to composite adapter. It has a disgusting amount of input lag. It just feels absolutely terrible and disgusting to play on. Compared to the actual CRT monitor, it's just garbage. That being said, the visuals look almost identical to playing on a consumer television, and because it's a consumer television. It looks like just like the CRT you will see at your tournament. This is all just offset by the horrible input lag. I'm sure you can find a lagless HDMI to composite adapter, but I doubt it will be cheap and it will probably take a lot of research. I personally would rather stick to the CRT monitor. The CRT monitor has the best options for the least amount of lag with spending the least amount of money. So at the end of the day, the CRT monitor will have less input lag, and this is due to the fact it can go to 120Hz, and some of them go 165Hz even more. Those will have the lowest amount of input lag. If you got a lagless composite adapter for the consumer TV, they would be the same at 60Hz. The consumer TV would be interlaced, but I don't really think that makes much of a difference. Keep in mind, some consumer televisions do have high input lag regardless, so you have to watch out for that as well. If you use it to play Melee just fine, I'm sure it will do the trick. Basically, the deciding factor between the CRT monitor and the consumer television should be whether you want the lowest amount of input lag when you're using a CRT, or if you would like to use a consumer television so that you're using what you'll probably find at an event or what you're used to in your own basement. More and more venues are just using LCD monitors, so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Do what you like, have fun.